What we'll do is we'll go ahead and get started. If you guys can do me a favor and go ahead and mute your phones, that will be appreciated. The purpose of this call, this is going to be more of an informative call. I'm not really going to ask too many questions, so that way you don't have to worry about everybody, kind of coming at the same time. During this call, the purpose of it, again, I'm going to lay out some key components about the foundation. I'm going to lay out some things as far as pertains to this camp, in terms of who we are, what we do, and how we're going to do what we do. And then a couple steps as we're preparing for the next couple weeks or a week and a half before we host our 21st Life Camp. So first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming. I am gratefully appreciative of anything and everybody that has given up their time, talent, treasure, or even network to be a part of this foundation. We are a 5-year-old going into our 6-year-old foundation. However, I've been doing work in the community since I came to Jacksonville in '98. And so this has become my home, and my family lives here. And so the opportunity for us to impart and plant community work within the foundation is really much appreciated. And for anyone that just clicked in, want to welcome you here. If you can go ahead and mute your phone, you can mute your phone and we can kind of go from there. And so just really quick, the mission of the foundation and what we do, in essence, that we partner with other nonprofit organizations as we like to host life camps. These life camps really focus on developing youth and families in personal leadership and life skills. By partnering with other nonprofit organizations, we get a chance to showcase their foundation while at the same time hosting these life camps that really allow us to impact these families on a number of different levels, with all different types of opportunities. And so this will be our 21st Life Camp. And so I'm really pleased and grateful for individuals that are on the call, some of which are my founding ambassadors. Special shout out, to Bethany, special shout out to Violet, to Beth, to Felicia, to Melissa, to Winchell, to Sean, to Marcus, to Janelle, to Miss Joyce, several individuals that really helped. Mike Dunn, who has been some of the founding ambassadors that really helped over these last 5 years get the foundation and this life camp where it is. At the foundation, I sent an email out last week about, our credo and kind of what we do and what we believe. And I'll just read a couple of them. It says, the Donovin Darius Foundation, we are a preventive-based nonprofit organization. We're delivering an ultimate Taj Mahal and Disney experience to all of our participants, volunteers, and guests is our ultimate mission. At our events, we pledge to provide the most inspiring, encouraging, and motivating environment for all of our participating families. The Donovin Darius Foundation Life Camp strive to awaken each participant's inner desire to discover their purpose and maximize their potential in their personal life and in their community. And so one of the things about these life camps, this is what I was birthed with. This is what the vision that God placed in my heart in terms of coming to Jacksonville to host these life camps through these foundation. And at this foundation, at these life camps, we create experiences and we make strategic connections. The experiences we're creating is bringing families together from all throughout the city. The experiences of education, motivation, as well as some information for them to apply. And then the connections we're making are between families from across the city, but we also bring organizations, community-based organizations, to these events so we can now get families connected directly with the services that they need. One of the key things to every registration form, just FYI, is that each family, when they fill out a registration form, we ask them what are some specific areas that they need resources and support in. Each family then checks all the boxes that apply. And so from that, we look to try to make sure we have organizations that can serve them and follow up with them at our life camps, so that way they can make those strategic connections. Those areas and organizations include, but not limited to, family services that produce family services, everything from support, from family counseling to mental health support, to domestic violence, to substance abuse, to emotional counseling, to teenage skills, to parenting skills. And so a plethora of organizations and the services that the families have identified that they need and they desire, we make sure our goal is to make sure that we can provide those programs and organizations at our life camps. And so I'm pleased to announce that this life camp we're having coming up, we have right now confirmed, I believe 17 organizations coming at this next life camp, which is a celebration for us in terms of making sure that we're able to get these families connected, with the things that they need, and to get followed up, from there. As we look at our next life camp, there's basically 3 things about this life camp, among many, that I'm really excited about. Number one, in line with our mission of partnering with nonprofit organization, we are now hosting this life camp at Jack's Powell Monument Center. We're able to bring this to them, bring our team, bring our system, bring everything we do to their facility and host it with their families, but then also families all across Northeast Florida. That is very important for us because, again, we look to continue that model as we continue to go forward. Another thing that I'm excited about, as I mentioned already, is what I call the community impact team of organizations. That is basically the organizations that's coming to support these families. From this life camp, I will then, in 2017, we will then create this organization where at least quarterly I get a chance to meet with these organizations. I get a chance to serve these organizations by pouring into them, encouraging and inspiring them, but also while creating an agenda that helps suit their needs so that we can collaborate better to serve the families in this organization. And then the third thing that I'm also excited about is that for the first life camp of our 20 previous life camps, we have a focus on inviting strategic guests to this life camp. And so the guests are the fact that for the last 20 life camps, I was not focused on bringing a lot of guests. We just wanted to be strategic, build this program, build this motto out, and focus on the essentials. Well, now we're at a level where we have a strong enough history on what it is that we do, and now we would like to open it up to the public and individuals who are affluent or influent, or at the end of the day, who are passionate about families, who are passionate about youth, who are passionate about changing this community from the inside out. And so I put it out there to you guys. You are able and willing and have the authority to invite certain guests to this foundation, this event on this December 17th. All I would ask you to do is send me the names and whatnot, and then a little bit about the individual, because we will then have someone to welcome them, give them a package about the foundation, and then I'll be able to talk to them at the foundation and let them know we don't want anything from them on that day. We just want them to come see what it is that we're doing so that they can experience it for themselves, and then we can build. We can kind of build from there. And so that's a little bit about our history. That's a little bit about our foundation. With this call, this is a volunteer and a founder's call. This is where I get a chance to kind of go through some of the logistics of the life camp. Some may apply to you, some may not apply to you. But at the end of the day, it's kind of an overview of what's going to happen and how we're going to do it. Up to this point right now, everyone should have received an email or communication from their team leader. We have basically 10 positions to volunteer for, as I say, based off your personalities. I do ask that every volunteer look to be flexible and adaptable, which means that based off of the need of the positions we have, we may have to switch a couple individuals to a different position, but at the end of the day, you'll still be able to function at a very high level because it's all about serving people. And so I ask that everybody be flexible, meaning that you may have chosen one position, but we may get there, and based off of the attendance of volunteers or the need that we have, we may ask you to shift. But the great thing is that everyone will have a team leader who will then, if they hadn't had any communication prior to then, will make sure that they get caught up to speed in terms of what it is that they have to do, during that time. If you have not had a response or communication with your team leader, I ask that you reach out to me directly at my email address. And if you know my name, it's going to make it really easy. So it's basically DD20, like Donovan Darius 20 at DonovanDarius.com. And so if you know my name, DD20 at DonovanDarius.com. Remember, my name is with an I and not an A. So DonovanDarius.com, okay? And just let me know. And what we'll do over this next week is we'll make sure you get connected, all right? We don't want anybody feeling like they're left out or they don't know what to do, all right? And so that's what we'll do from there. Also, as a support to you with your volunteerism, on our website, DonovanDariusFoundation.com, it has a Get Involved tab. In that Get Involved tab is basically where you can go to see basically everything that will be needed to be done on the day of the camp. It has been updated, and so all you do is go there and you just click whatever position that you're signing up for or you have signed up for or like to inquire more about, and it'll basically let you know what you're going to be doing before the camp, what you will be doing during the camp, and what happens basically right after the camp. And so you can get informed on that. That's at DonovanDariusFoundation.com. You can basically see that as well. On that page as well, in the foundation website, you will also be able to see the itinerary of the event. It's already posted for you to see, so you'll understand how we're doing and what we're doing. At this life camp, half of the time is going to be inside. The other time is going to be outside at this life camp as well. And so for this life camp specifically, our December 17th Pay It Forward life camp, the whole theme is to pay it forward. That is helping families understand and identify their gifts of talents of time, talent, treasure, and network. And we want to help develop them and really remind them about how to use those things to impact their family and their community abroad. So as we speak right now, we have 100 families signed up. We're at 290 signed up participants for the life camp. We have another 100 volunteers signed up for this life camp. And as we speak right now, we look to have about 20 to 25 invited guests. And again, that number can increase one way or the other, but just want to kind of give you guys an idea about that. Special note about our volunteer group this year, and especially for this event. Having it at Jack's Powell was strategic for me as well as the foundation, because especially with everything going on within the social unrest and everything in our communities, I've invited 15 of the law enforcement officers through the sheriff's office and through Jack's Powell to come and be part of my life camp coaches. And so they will be divided amongst the families. I have specific shirts for them, which has their logo on the back, but then our logo on the front. And they will be part of our life camp coaches. And the purpose for that is, as I told them and I share with everybody, you may not be able to change the media, but you are able to create your own. And so as we're creating the media of service beyond the badge at our life camp, it's not a number one thing we're putting out there, but it is something that we're doing as we're integrating and healing our community through service. And so that's another area that I'm also excited about from there. Another thing I'm excited about with the Life Camp is, so I have Everbank as our title sponsor. Jack's Powell is our partner at this Life Camp. And so what the families are going to be doing half of the time is Everbank and Junior Achievement will be working with families on basic financial principles on how to manage their money and basically manage it in a responsible way. But the other part that I'm excited about is the project that each family is going to work on, all 100 families, is I'm going to task them with, I want them to create a family business that services our community. So you can imagine each family will be thinking, what type of service do we want to provide as our family to impact our community? And basically they will create that. They'll create a title of the company. They'll create a mission statement, what they're going to do. And then they're going to be creating just some basic financial things around it. And so you can imagine after the Life Camp, hopefully we'll have 100 families with thinking philanthropically on how can we impact this community, and whether they do something with it or not. The essence is understanding that after you manage your finances personally, then the extra things that you have by purpose can be given to impact and to pour into those things that you're passionate about. And so that's what we'll be doing for the first half. The second half, we will be outside on the football fields where we'll be having races. We'll have tug of wars. We'll have different family competitions. And again, we'll have a wonderful time. Just kind of basically, again, just celebrating families and working with them around the whole Pay It Forward Life Camp. And so the next thing I would like to do is we basically have a camp prep list. And typically I do this with my leadership team, but I involve my volunteers as well so you can see what it is we do and how we do it so everyone is basically informed. This camp prep list is basically a list of items to kind of check off the box to inform everybody of where we're at. Again, from this call, you can definitely email me if you have questions. I will return every answer to every question that you may have, okay? So the number one thing that we have on here, we all know where the event is held. It's going to be held at Jack's Powell Center on Monument Road. The address, again, is on the internet. Right now, we have 100 families signed up. We have 100 volunteers. We've reached out and sent this information out through our community partners. It's been sent out through full service families. It's been sent out to different schools, social media, word of mouth, through churches, through past participants. That's how we got the message out about this Life Camp. The volunteers, we got them through, again, word of mouth, social media, and then we like to connect organizations that like to have their volunteers come out and serve together. You may be a part of it. If you're a part of an organization and they give foundation dollars to organizations where volunteers come out, please let us know, because I know typically there's a paperwork you got to go through so you can be one of those eligible organizations, and we definitely would like to do that. We've been fortunate to have Bank of America do that by having several of their volunteers. Citi has been another organization that's been supporting us, led by Chris there and Violet and Kissy and Shayla with Bank of America. And so again, let us know so we can make sure we fill out the paperwork, because of course, nonprofit organization, we need the support of organizations. T-shirts, okay, during this Life Camp, everybody a lot of times will have designated T-shirts. Our volunteer base, you guys will be, for the most part, all the volunteers will be in a kind of a light blue T-shirt for this one. We launched our new logo this July, and you'll be in a light blue. Our Life Camp coaches will be in more of a darker blue. You'll stand out. It'll have coach on the back. Our medical team will have medical, and they'll be in their red. Our photographers, we will have about 7 photographers, professional photographers, who will be capturing several different things throughout the event. Some will capture mothers and children interaction, another fathers and children, another just the law enforcement officers and the interaction. Another one are volunteer teams as well. And so we have each photographer basically designated to capture something so we can relive the experience and allow the pictures and videos to tell the story. Every participant, when they get there, as well as volunteers, you guys will receive, kind of a breakfast snack. We reach out to the community and organizations to see whether individuals or organizations can donate snack bars, juices, waters, you name it, because we want to make sure that the families get a chance to eat when they come and get some nutritional facts, because again, there's nothing worse than trying to tell somebody something on a hungry stomach. So we want to make sure we take care of the needs that they have immediate. So they'll receive a breakfast snack as well as a midday snack, and then we'll typically have a box lunch for them when they leave The timing of the event is 10 to 2. In our previous years, we had it was 9 to 1. We felt that strategically we want to move it to 10 to 2 because on a Saturday, most families have a easier time getting to somewhere when you have to be there at 9 o'clock versus when you have to be there at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. So we moved it back an hour just so we can accommodate the families as well as the volunteers on that day. Every volunteer, for the most part, is asked to be there at least 2 hours earlier to the event. So if the event is at 10, ask you to be there by 8. So that by 8:15, so that way you can get your T-shirts, you can get your last minute assignments, you can make sure you understand what it is that we're doing, and it helps us flow because we're on the same page from there. As far we will have Sight and Sound, which is an organization that we partner with, providing the audio and video for us during that day. They'll be providing, the projector and the different things that we show, the video, a couple videos in the beginning and a little highlight video that I typically like to kind of integrate things there. The next thing on there, our medical staff emergency plan. At our events, we typically have a life emergency plan where we'll have an ambulance service there. So when the families do go outside, we're just ready and prepared for any emergencies. We also ask families in a registration form, do you have any family challenges or medical that we need to be aware of? So that way, when they do check in, these families or individuals that have identified, they can get certain bracelets so that way everybody can be aware of what's going on and we're monitoring them. We're monitoring them as they go. So that's what we do. We have a very capable medical staff, volunteer staff, led by Bethany Baboko, who's done a tremendous job as one of our ambassadors, making sure everybody was on the same page from there. And also Ms. Kathy Hagee, who's been a tremendous blessing to the foundation. She's a professor at Kaiser University, and they bring some of their students and allow them to come and get connected. Every life camp we do, we have life camp insurance. And basically we cover everybody at the life camp for any different injuries and whatnot. Everyone signs liability waivers. So again, that we cover volunteers, we cover the participants, the places that we're at. And then we also this year we started to continuously have the kind of sexual kind of lawsuits. So we wanted to make sure that we had insurance for those things. Now, granted, we do have a plan and we do work things out so we can try to eliminate certain things and keep try to dot every I and cross every T. But we also understand we just want to be covered from anything and everything in the event of those things. So I just wanted to kind of let everybody know from there. For this life camp, these are your team leaders. The camp director of the whole is myself, Donovin, Darius. Our team leader, directors of the experience team will be Felicia Skipper. She will be managing the experience of the families, the experience of the volunteers, experiences of the presenters. Melissa Chester, she is the experience team. She will be managing the experience of the guests as they come. So she'll have a group of volunteers that will be basically giving the guests tour and sharing with the guests some information and facts about the foundation so that they can be caught up and making sure their experience is there. And then Miss Jeanette Hunt, she will be our experienced team leader as well, and she will be in charge of the community impact team. So that way, all those organizations, whatever they need, there's somebody serving them and there's somebody answering questions or whatever it may be. And so those are our team leaders for the experience team. As far as camper check-in, Ms. Beth Touchton, who is an incredible resource and asset to this foundation, and ever since the very beginning, she's had the role of the camp directors, assistant director, executive assistant, executive administrative director, you name it. She comes with her heart. She's done a tremendous job every time. Someone I can truly trust and everything. She will be the team leader for the camper check-in, which is our first point of contact. families get there. They just wanted, man, can I get through this line? Can I get, can I be welcomed and approached and embraced despite my color, my age, my size, my anything? And Beth does a great job of leading those volunteers to make sure that the camper check-in is well. And then the team leader for the volunteer check-in, which, again, all the volunteers like yourself are coming, earlier before the camper check-ins. And so the individual team leader for the volunteer check-in is Miss Violet Bailey. Again, another woman, a young lady that I trust, that's been nothing but a heart and been a covering for this foundation. I thank her and love her and trust her, as I do all my ambassadors who have given of their time, talent, treasure, heart to serve the vision and mission of this foundation. And so she does a tremendous job of making sure that the volunteers, when you guys check in, that her team, if you're on her team, you guys are making sure that the volunteers are being served well and getting everything that they need as they check in. And so we also have the service team, the hospitality and server team. They will be led by, I believe, Miss Shayla, but then it may be another young lady, Miss Danielle. And so, again, some other individuals who have worked at this foundation and done some incredible things of just making sure everybody just feel welcome and being so professional with everything. So again, then we also have our life camp coaches. Those coaches will be divided up between every family. There will be typically about 5 groups of families, 15 to 20 families per group. So we have several life camp coaches. We have Sean Oliver, he's a team leader. Crystal Doxeter, team leader. Richard Doxeter, team leader. We also have Nathaniel Spears, team leader. And we had Kavicia Brown, team leader. And we may actually have one more. And so again, they'll be taking the families everywhere. They are, making sure that everybody's okay in their group, leading them through, whether it's inside or even outside. That's their responsibility. So they do a tremendous job making sure that the enthusiasm level is high, making sure everybody knows what to do, where they're going as they go from there. Health and safety, as I mentioned, the medical component is led by Bethany Babalka, who has been an ambassador and someone as well who, as you say, at the end of the day, people that you can trust, people that you put the vision out there and they do whatever they can to make it happen and to make sure the integrity and professionalism and excellence of what it is you're trying to portray is experienced. And so Bethany will do a tremendous job, as she always have, being a team leader over the health and safety component as well. And then we have the heat and hydration team. Typically, in December, it's not as hot, but, we do have life camps in September, May, June, and it does get hot. And so we have a full plan that we do to make sure families and participants, are staying cool with ice sponges, but then also, being hydrated through water or Gatorade, whatever it may be. And that is a full, active, and energetic staff that makes sure that participants are being hydrated, as well as making sure volunteers are being hydrated who are out there. And so that's a wonderful team as well. And then the last team we have, which is our photography team. They're capturing the moments. That's led by Cindy Bowling and Ainsley Lockey. There are some wonderful photographers, man. It's like the magic that they create through the lens is superb. And so they'll be leading the charge of our photographers, making sure that they give them a shot list on what we're trying to capture as we go from there. And then the last team basically is my team, which is the, Donovan, Darius, my personal team. And I typically have high school students that I like to have on my team. And the purpose of that is these individuals are at a point where they're transitioning potentially to college, and allowing them to serve with me. I get a chance to pour into them by speaking to them before the life camp and throughout the life camp and then afterwards. So what their role is, they'll be doing a little bit from anything and everything that's needed, everything from capturing video, everything from running errands, but everything from serving individuals if there's any holes or anything. So they come with the heart of service. And so it's always been a pleasure there. And I want to thank Miss Christine Jump at Orange Park, who's always done a tremendous job of making sure we have, individuals from her school at Orange Park High School to support as well. And so we also will have individuals in high school, some of my mentees from Terry Parker High School with the 5,000 Role Models of Excellence. They will be there supporting as well. And so basically, as I mentioned, the volunteer assignments, all of your assignments are online under DonovanDariusFoundation.com under the Get Involved tab. You can click a couple times, and as you go through, you'll see your area of expertise and areas that you'll be serving. When we get there, we'll have outside, we'll have a DJ, as we always do. I'm a big proponent on creating the environment that you want. And so how many people always, had a great day at work, come home and the house is dirty? That environment just destroyed that day almost, or vice versa. You not have so much of a bad day at work. You come home and the bed is made, the house is clean, trash is out, things smelling good, feels better. So the environment is very, very important. And so we have a DJ who plays some nice upbeat contemporary music for us when we get outside as we kind of go from there. Other than that, we will be doing at the Life Camp, we will be doing as a live stream. So we'll be live streaming, getting people, allowing individuals outside the Life Camp experience to see what it is that we're doing. We have a social media presence, of course, online, as well as Facebook. We have Donovan Darius Foundation. We have our Twitter, which is Darius for Families, on Twitter as well. And of course, we have Instagram, which is Donovan Darius Foundation as well. And so if you have not liked those, and if you're not connected to those, please do. Again, the more connection we have, as they say, 6 degrees of separation. It may not be you, but who, and so we just want to make sure that we're all connected from there. The last part, as far as the rundown of this list, is that everything at the Life Camp is handicap accessible. So we do understand that there's some individuals or guests that may be dealing with handicap, and so they do have handicap accessibility there for our participants or volunteers, and we take everything to account so that way everyone feels comfortable from there. Parking, you'll be able to park right there at the event. They have a large parking lot for everyone there. As we kind of go through there. On the day when you get there, we would have basically itineraries right there so everybody can follow along. And we ask that you just take a picture of it. Or you can take a picture of it online, off a line, screenshot, whatever, and just have it with you. Again, so we can sometimes save the trees and you can still be informed. Okay, and so the next thing on this list is our next step of communication majorly is you will be receiving an email from me. Every volunteer will, with 1 week remaining. That 1 week remaining email will have a child protection policy agreement. Again, this is a policy that we have that everyone must complete it, and it's basically a simple reading the lines of what it is that we believe, but at the same time making sure consenting that you do not have, and then a volunteer does not have anything that can prohibit them from joining us at this Life Camp because of their prior experience, because we want to really create a protected environment, and we do that by trying to have the liability insurance. We do that by making sure that everyone understands what our values are and what we do and how we do it. And then also we want to get consent by having individuals sign off, volunteers on a child protective policy. So at least we have that they read it, they went through it, and they acknowledged what it is that we're doing from there. Okay, and then so you'll be receiving that from me. Like I said, 1 week up to the Life Camp. And then the next step after that is we will have a walkthrough. It's an optional walkthrough. That walkthrough will be held on December the 16th, 1 day before the Life Camp. When we had the Life Camps at the stadium, those were critical at different times because sometimes people are like, man, that stadium is huge. Well, where do I go? What do I need to see? And so I wanted to create this opportunity for volunteers that feel that, who feel comfortable just coming to where they're going to serve and seeing it before they actually go. So I want to create that opportunity for you. So in that email, you'll also get information about the walkthrough, a reminder for that Friday, December the 16th The walkthrough will basically be from 5:30 to 7:30. Is when I say it's kind of an open time. It's open time from the standpoint that individuals may be getting off work, traveling, and I totally understand. But we want to make sure you have an opportunity to get there to see it. Plus, we have to set up the chairs. So we have 300 chairs and stuff coming, and we got to set up the tables and chairs for the next day. So again, if you're able to come, we'd love for you to be there. We always had a thing when we play football, man. It's not the next man's job to do it. It starts with us. So if you're able to come, definitely, the event starts before the event starts. And so I want to thank you guys for being on this call and understand these are the next steps. And so the last thing I will say as we get ready to close here, is a little bit about the foundation and where we're at from the overall scheme. We're going into our 6th year of the foundation. And the focus of this foundation over the last 5 years was not about building a big community awareness around what we're doing. It was not about going after sponsorships. It was not about going after money and donors. I typically don't say it, but I'll share it with you guys. Over the last 5 years in my time in Jacksonville, I've given over $250,000 of my own money to the foundation and to the efforts and causes that we have. Why? I don't say it to brag. I say it because, again, I want to put my money where my heart is at. And I wanted to help develop these programs. And I wanted to get this thing tool so we can give the foundation and give this community something that leaves a legacy that goes on beyond my time here, beyond my lifetime. And by creating this foundation that's a bridge to host life camps and get these families connected, I feel that we're much closer to that. During these last 5 years, as I said, it was my focus on maximizing the efforts and the hearts of my ambassadors to support and walk alongside, where a lot of times people think about building boards and they think about building all these committees and all this stuff. Well, I have been blessed to have some very key individuals on my team who have been friends of the foundation and done whatever was needed to get it done. However, moving forward in 2017, this December and 2017, I will be now opening up opportunities as we are building out and developing, our committees for what it is that we'll be doing in 2017, and basically our board members as well. And so if those type of things are something that you're interested in considering, I'll definitely get you some more information on that. After this life camp, I'll send you some information more on that. For example, in 2017, we will be hosting a golf and tennis tournament for our foundation, basically around in March. Around April or May, around those months can kind of shift based off of confirmation. We'll be hosting a fishing tournament for our families. It'll be basically, fishing for families, Dream Maker fishing for families. And then in the fall, I want to host a celebratory dinner for entitled basically Faith, Family, and Football. So that'll be a celebratory dinner with our families and our volunteers and, different celebrity, just guests, and as a way for us to kind of come together. On top of that, we'll also be having our 5 life camps, which is our May for mothers, June for fathers, September for girls, November for boys, and December for families. And so you'll get that information after this life camp is over, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea of where we're at. That's why it's important to invite guests to come, because 2017 beyond, we're looking for sustainability and durability and efficiency, and we can only do that with the right team. And so you guys are definitely needed for us to help develop this team, and I want to thank you already in advance for what you've already done. And so here we are now at 7:43. We're basically concluding this call. As I mentioned, I will upload this conference call, and I'll put it as a tab on the Get Involved tab after you click there. So all they have to do is click Get Involved, and it'll basically be titled, the volunteer conference call.